Alright, welcome to the daily market analysis for 12 April. What we're going to do tonight is go over updates to the market since last night and identify setups happening tonight going into tomorrow. First pair we're going to go over is going to be AU. So since last night, AU has basically consolidated. They painted the initial high, the initial low, and then came back up to the 200 EMA, basically giving us 4 long wicks. We knew it was going to drop some. They came back down to retest this low, which is what we've been waiting on. Go to the 4-hour time frame. They're still working the low here. We see the sun here. If you look at the RSI, TDI has popped below the 50 EMA, and the second leg here is near the bottom Bollinger Band. So price action is on its way back down to work the low, so we'll be looking to take this long tonight. So I'm expecting them to retest the low, come up, and basically hit the low again. It'll probably be again before London. It'll probably be during the Asian session, and then take off. Let's see, it's at from the bottom to the 200 EMA, that's about 24 pips. So we'll probably be holding this. If it takes off tonight, it'll probably be all week. If they come past the 50 EMA, that's what we'll be looking for on the 4-hour once we enter, is how they behave at this 50. That'll be the all. Right, so you see they came up and railroad tracked on the 50 and came back down. They've really been bouncing back and forth, consolidating along that 50 EMA. So once they blow past the 50, our next target profit target will be the 200, which will put us at about 70 pips. So that's our ultimate take profit. That'll be our next point of reference for an exit. We'll see how they behave up there. All right, moving on to EJ. So since last night, they came down off of the high, right, and gave us a stop hunt, right, and now they're working the high again. They're coming back up to retest tonight. Since the start of the Asian session, they are at 15 pips. So they have to come back and work the low, because during Asian they come and they paint the initial high and the low. So they have the initial high. They have to come back and give us our initial low, and then I expect them to retest and then drop tonight. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, this will be 1, 2, 3 hits to the high, right? And you can see TDI has been hitting the 50 EMA, right? And it's on its way back up now. And then we have that red triangle, which lets us know that there's 3 points. That's a pattern showing that, basically saying that there's going to be a reversal coming. So that is what we're looking for on that. And then our profit target will be about the 200 EMA at on the 4-hour time frame, which will put us over 100 pips on EJ. Any questions so far? All right. Again, we'll see how they behave once they hit the high retest. We'll see how they behave at the 50. You see they came down, railroad tracked, and pinned the 50 EMA and then came back up. So once they cross the 13, close below like this did, we know that the trend is short, right? We'll be entered short already, but then we'll see how they behave at the 50. Once they blow past that, then our next point of reference would be the 200. All right, moving on to UF. So with this one, they extended the low. I was expecting them during London to retest the low and then take off. They gave us a stop hunt right? During US, they gave us first leg, and here during Asian gave us second leg. So I'm expecting we already have a star right below the 50 EMA. Looking at TDI, it's on its way up to the mid-level line, and the top Bollinger Band, I'm expecting them to retest during London and then take off. From the high here down to the bottom, they're at 247, right? And ADR is 55, so they're well over the ADR times 3, so they have to correct. All right, moving on to GU. I'm gonna be covering NIX pairs. So on the 4-hour time frame, you see first leg here, they issued us a sun. This is essentially an outside candle, right? Because the bottom covers these right here. All of these have closed above this low, so this is considered an outside candle. So this could be considered a W on the 4-hour time frame. This is valid. Now they come up to the 50 EMA and issued us a star, and they pinned the 50. I'm expecting them to come back down. So here they are during Asian session. They've already painted the initial high. They're working on giving us the initial low. So from here, I'm expecting them to come down about this point here, which will put them at about 17, 18 pips, right? Come back up and retest that high of the day, and then drop to retest this low here before going along. We'll see how they behave tonight. And once we enter GU, that 50 and the 200 is pretty close. It's not as spaced out as I would like to see, so we'll really be paying attention to how they behave at that 50 EMA again. But you can see on the 4-hour time frame where that star is, they've already hit the TDI has already hit the 50 EMA, so they're definitely going to be coming back down. All right, on EG is working the high, hitting that 13 EMA multiple times. You can see this first leg over here. They've issued us a moon. You can't really see the wick at all. You can't see that candle at all. That happens when price action has been bouncing, right, and then it closes right where it opens. It disappears. So, for example, this candle, let's say this candle here opened at the same point that this one closed. It just moves horizontally. Horizontally, and then it moves up and down. And wherever it closes, that's where the next candle opens, right? And there's that gap because these candles are closing at a different point than when they open. So I'll use this one as an example. This one closed here, right? And then this candle went down and it slided over. This candle went up. But they completely disappear when that candle closes and this one shifts over. They make their movement, right, and they come back to the same exact point where it opened at. That's why those candles are invisible, but they're still there. So we got first leg here. You see TDI is at the high level line, and then they come back. Here's second leg. You see TDI is back at the high level line and it's hit the 50 EMA, coming back up to retest. So as long as they respect this high here tonight, then we can expect a drop. So you see it's on its way up now. I'm expecting them to, this will probably carry over into the the London session, right, where they hit the high and then drop, which will give us a multi-day 3 hits to the high. So One day they hit, the next day they hit, and then tonight they're hitting. Any questions on that? All right, moving on to GJ, last pair. Right now they are working the low. This pair I don't really care for, simply because of this quick shift. There's not a real trend here, but you can see on the RSI, TDI has hit the 50 EMA. Based off of this peak formation, right, and the ADR, they have shifted, they have moved 347 pips. ADR, I don't have it on this pair. Let me see it real quick. Let me see. So ADR is 112. So that'll be 336. So they're about at the ADR times 3. But what I'm expecting them to do, if they don't come back up and hit this 50, right, I'm expecting them to drop here eventually. They pulled away from this peak, giving us 3 levels, right, and that consolidation. So I'm expecting some correction before continuing that trend. Again, TDI is at that 50 EMA now, so I don't foresee them going too far up. And that's all. I'm gonna leave it at that on that pair. I don't think that Nick will be touching this for a while. I don't know. He's been following this pair for a very long time, so I would personally wait on a clear setup. This isn't one of my favorites. It's not in line with the RSI. But if you have any questions on any of the pairs, hit us up in the group chat or in a direct message. And we'll be back tomorrow night, same time, 8:30 Central. Y'all have a good night.